Hi guys, welcome. This is Jean. In today's video, we are back to the working online videos. I know most of you requested those. I want to talk about how you can plan for your 2021. 2020 has been a very weird year. We can all attest to that. And it's okay if you didn't manage to start working online. It's very understandable. There was a lot happening in the year. However, if you're thinking about 2021 and what you can do in the new year when it comes to working online, this will be a very nice video. I'd also suggest that you watch this video first and also this video first because I've already talked about there. So I'll just be refreshing that knowledge and bringing you even more ideas and maybe packaging it in a different way. So if you definitely loved those videos, then this one will be for you. When it comes to working online, I think we've noticed that the world has really turned into now everybody's working online, and I couldn't be happier because I used to always be a champion of, get a laptop, get a skill and find a way to work online. Even most jobs have now taken an online sort of turn. So yeah, let's get started. When it comes to working online, I'd really like you to think about how many hours are you going to commit to this sort of job, apart from your main job. Say for example, how many hours are you willing to commit in a week? Do you only want to commit time in the weekends? Do you want to commit 1 hour a day? Is this your full-time hustle? I know most people work online as their main job. There are also others who work on it as a part-time job or as a side hustle. Unfortunately, we live in a place where you have to have many hustles in order to get your dreams or in order to make your dreams happen. So that's a debate for another day, but first of all, commit the hours and also find ways in which you're going to make those hours work. It's not as easy as saying, you know what, I'll be doing these jobs in the weekends. Jean, don't worry, I'll be working on in the evenings. Don't worry. No, it's about setting that time apart, that knowing that from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. I am working on something, or at 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. I'm working on something. So make sure while you're setting the time, you're also putting it in your calendar. The next thing to ask is, what monetizable skills do you have? I know we all have different skills, but are they monetizable? For example, I might have a skill in knitting, but is it monetizable? Is it a skill that I can easily monetize online? What can I do to make sure that the skills that I have are monetizable online? And that is an activity you have to do by yourself, because I obviously don't know what skills you have and what kind of unique blend of skills that you have, but I want you to sit down with yourself and find a way to do those skills online. Even the skills that look like most mundane or most boring, like knitting, you can still make money online through, for example, YouTube videos. I've seen channels of people showing other people how to knit. I've seen people having e-commerce sites selling whatever they're knitting. So don't feel like your hobby or your craft or your skill is too traditional or it's not out there in terms of an online aspect. However, if you have normal skills or monetizable skills like writing, also that's really good to write them down. In my other videos, I know I told you that you can sit down and you write them on a book, all those skills that you think that you have. So it's always good to write them down and even write down and even do a rough search of my skill work online. If let's say I'm good in writing, look for writing work online. Or let's say I'm good, I did law and I want to find a way to be working online, you could easily search lawyer jobs online and you'll find different types of tiers or different types of ways in which you can make money, either by writing, by offering different services to people. The next thing is obvious, and I always say, but I have to mention it, is that make sure you have a very good laptop and an internet connection, because most of these jobs really require you to be online most of the time. So you have to have a good internet connection and also a good laptop, because for example, if you're writing and your computer keeps hanging, that won't be any good for you. It's going to actually cost you more energy and more time and just spoil your mood and waste your time. But if you have a quick laptop, you can be able to really type, send out the work and get paid for it. So make sure those two things, those are your tools of trade, and you have to make sure that they're okay. The next thing is to refresh your skills. You've seen your monetizable skills, but are they like up to par? Yes, you might have studied like 5 years ago, but do you have what it takes to really work online? If let's say you studied creative writing back then and you haven't written ever since, or you've been in the job market doing something else, you have to really refresh your skills. And there's so many websites that can give you courses. I think I did a video. In case I didn't do a video, I'll link a resource that I have done on Twitter talking about places where you can find skills, or where you can learn different skills. For example, I learned copywriting online by myself, so I really just looked for a course. I already had the basics of writing, but I had to look at, okay, copywriting is different. What words do I use? What adjectives do I use? How do I really do copywriting? How do I even do the business of copywriting? Like, how, once I get a client, what do I do? Those are things that you didn't learn in school, and you have to really refresh that knowledge. You have to really go targeted. I'd rather you just niche down and decide, I have 2 skills, let me niche down on them, instead of saying I do everything. I am a writer, I do all sorts of writing. So make sure you really like go down and really refresh and upgrade your skills. The next thing is to now start looking for those jobs. If let's say you want to decide to start working online in 3 months, today would be a good time to start looking for those jobs. And don't expect that you're going to look for the job today and tomorrow you have it. That's not the case. Just like in any other job market, the online job market now is very saturated, not in a bad way, but in a good way. It's very like, it has a lot of people. There are more people who are more skilled than you, so you have to really know how to pitch, you have to really know how to bid for jobs, you have to really know how to apply for these jobs. So you also have to go to these platforms, and sometimes you don't even know which platforms you need to check. If, for example, let's say you're a writer, you might not even know which platforms to start with. So a simple Google search will give you different resources that you can get started with. If you also want to work like more closely with me, I do have like a one-on-one consultation, obviously paid. So if you really want someone to hold your hand, please just check that. But anyway, back to the video. When it comes to now looking for those jobs, you really have to be intentional. You even find some of them on page 5 of Google, so it's not like the first job you find is what you're going to work on. Yeah, so make sure you're very patient, and also make sure you don't get you will get rejected actually, so make sure you don't feel bad when you get rejected, because this rejection is only taking you closer to something else. And when it comes to the world of online work, you have to get rejected. People will say no, others will not respond, but you have to really like increase your chances. You can't apply for one job and say, Jean, this thing is not working for me. Let me tell you, even 20, you have to apply a lot. Unless you're lucky or you're really well skilled, then that's something you have to be wary about. This is not a job that you just start today and tomorrow you have a job. Next thing, once you find your platform, or once you find a way, something that you want to pitch, is to create your bio. So you have to create your good bio. When people ask you what do, you can be able to say within like 2 sentences. For example, my bio, this is my bio, let me just include it here. That is a good bio that can be able to describe what you do. So come up with your niche statement that says, I help this, or I create this, a skilled writer in this. There's so many ways that can help you create your bio. If you want a resource, maybe I can link one below, maybe I can do a video, let me know what you want. But a bio can be able to help you when you're pitching. So a bio is what you'll include in your profile. Sometimes you can write like a 2-sentence bio, but then you can also have a long bio as well when somebody asks for it. So have those 2 versions ready. So a long version bio will talk about your school, your experience, more like a condensed CV but in paragraph form. But that takes time, and before anything, before you even apply, I think you should sit down with yourself and you really have those sorted, like your details. What name do you want to go by? What are your skills? What are your specialties in? Past work. If you don't have past work, there's so many websites, or there's so many ways that you can create past work. For example, like in writing, you can start your own free WordPress blog and use that as a portfolio. You can even write for websites that maybe are free or don't pay fast. You can write like 3 articles, submit there, and then use those as your portfolio. If you have past work, even better. Take time to really craft your bio. This is not something you do in a week. This whole like starting to work online, it's not something you do in a week. Something you really have to really set the groundwork for and start applying over time. So make sure you've done that, and then also perfect your pitch. Some of these pitches will be like on email. Someone will tell you, Jean, please send me an email about what job you want, and sometimes they give you an email address and they tell you, please send an email here to be considered. So you have to really know how to pitch for these jobs, and you really have to know what to include in the email, what to attach. All those are things, unfortunately, if you don't want to like pay someone to teach you, you have to learn through trial and error. For me, it's taken like 7 years for me to exactly know how pitching works, or how, you know, like to be confident when it comes to applying. I've gone through times when, for example, I used to just attach a CV and a cover letter and that's it. No no salutation, nothing on the email. Those were dark times. But anyway, so coming back, they're just things you have to learn along the way if you don't want to pay someone. But sometimes it's worth the risk, or it's worth the time to really go through resources. We are so lucky we live in a world where people are now like posting resources on different types of jobs, or different types of freelance jobs or online jobs. So you can definitely go to those creators and look at what they're doing, because they're going to shorten your learning curve anyway. They'll make your journey smaller. They'll tell you mistakes they made, and you'll be able to know things that you can avoid. In fact, I have a whole playlist on working online, which I know some of this stuff I should be charging, but I give it away for free. So take advantage of these sorts of videos and also the resources I share on my Twitter, and that's gonna help you more. The next thing is, now you got the job, you got the okay, congratulations, is now to start the working. Once you get the job, make sure that you're distraction free, and you also check the deadline, or that the job has been given. You've checked the description, and before you even say yes, make sure you can already do the job. I'd rather not like promise, oh yeah, I can do this Photoshop thing, and then somebody's like, ugh, but your work is whatever you gave me back is not what I asked you. So in case it's something that's not clear to you, ask questions before, or say no, this is beyond my scope, or I don't know exactly this. You can give it to someone else, or you can even take a job and decide, you know what, I'm going to start learning this. If it's something that you can learn, it's all up to you, whatever type of job that you want to take. So I can't give a one size fits all advice in this specific instance, but I think that once you start working online, you'll be able to learn the ropes, and you'll be able to see that, number one, once you get a job, tell the person thank you, this will be sent in this time. So make sure you know the details, the deadline, the requirements, and also the payment method. So those are things that we'll definitely discuss in subsequent videos, but that is how you plan to start your online career. It's not rocket science. The most important thing is that your skill is monetizable and it's doable online, and then number two is that you know how to apply. The hardest part of this job is knowing how to apply for online jobs. I'm going to link a video that I did on pitching for online jobs, and more resources down below for you. So thank you for watching. Subscribe, it's free to get to know more of these videos, and yeah, right on cue.